Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you from WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, August 12th, the first day of school.
Right, and now at 6 a.m., those buses are rolling and kids are waking up across the Bluegrass on this first day of the brand new school year.
We'll hear from a man who says he was lucky to walk away from an overnight crash in Lexington.
And police are hoping you will recognize two people caught on surveillance video stealing from a central Kentucky business.
And boy, if there's one thing you do not have to worry about this morning trying to get the kids out to the bus stop is the weather. I mean, look how nice it is. Beautiful conditions out, about temperatures sitting there in the 60s this morning. Very low humidity, too. It is a perfect start to the day. The focus for you guys, yeah, perfect there for those kiddos. Heading back to the bus stop and back to school. We'll get into that forecast, deep into those details coming up.
And first on WKYT this morning, it is a big day for students in the Bluegrass and their parents. The first day of school in many central Kentucky counties.
As you head out the door this morning, you'll want to keep a few things in mind. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain live to explain what you can expect in Lexington.
Good morning. I'm at the Fayette County School Bus Garage as drivers are arriving for what is planned to be a busy day as over 40,000 students will begin school here at Fayette County. But not only will the students begin school today, it's also the first day of school for Manny Kalk. He is Fayette County's new school superintendent. And he comes to us from Portland Main School District. Kalk plans on riding the bus with some Lexington kids today, as well as paying visits to different schools throughout the day. I'll have more on that at 6:30. Now, with the start of a new school year, we should remind everyone that there will be increased traffic this morning. 214 Fayette County buses will hit the road between 6 o'clock and 6:15, and some buses won't be pulling back in here to the garage until 9 o'clock or so. Fayette County Transportation Director Marcus Dobbs is asking everyone to please be patient.
I would probably recommend that parents leave, perhaps maybe, shall we say, or any commuters out there, leave about 15 minutes earlier than what they normally would, because you're going to run into those buses, and state law has when those stop arms are out, you can't pass that bus.
Now, Lexington Police is asking everyone to please leave about 15 minutes earlier than you normally would, and please do not text and drive. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
All right, all good reminders. Thank you.
Yeah, good reminders from her. Well, it's also the first day of school in Madison County.
But not all of the schools will be opening up today. There's a problem at one. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk to explain more about that. Hey, good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. Here we are. It is finally the first day of school, the day students either dread all summer or maybe even look forward to, but like it or hate it, here we are. Well, most of us, students at one Madison County school, are getting 3 extra days of summer. Students at Daniel Boone Elementary aren't starting their school year until Monday because construction crews are still renovating their school. Their back-to-school night will now be tomorrow night from 5:30 to 7:30 at the school. Daniel Boone Elementary is not the only school seeing overhauls in Madison County. Crews are also renovating Kit Carson and Whitehall Elementary schools, but those 2 schools are still opening today. So will students with the late start have a longer school year? The district says their school year is already longer than the state's requirements, so they will not need to make up those 3 days. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. It is not just Fayette and Madison counties that are kicking off a new school year today. Students in Clark, Woodford, Jessamine, Franklin, and several other counties also returning to the classroom today. Now, be sure to allow yourself some extra time to get to work this morning because there will certainly be extra traffic throughout the Bluegrass.
Now on to a developing international story we've got for you this morning. A U.S. military helicopter has reportedly crashed into the sea off the coast of Okinawa, Japan. The Japanese Coast Guard said it has sent teams to search for the helicopter and its crew members. It's not clear how many people were on board when the copter crashed. Keep checking WKYT for WKYT.com, for updates. And back here in Lexington, a man managed to walk away from a crash that caused his car to catch on fire. This happened around 1 this morning on Sandersville Road near some train tracks. The victim says he was driving back to Georgetown when he ran into the side of an overpass, hitting his car.
As soon as I start smelling the fire or whatever, I try to get to the quickest exit I can. Because if not, I would have burned in flames. And like today, you know, some people don't get to make it in car wrecks.
Green tells us he could not see well on the dark road, and he thinks that's why he crashed.
Well, police are hoping that surveillance video will help them catch the people who broke into Doctors Ditto and Music Eye Care Center in Nicholasville. Managers say a man and woman picked a lock and stole $6,000 worth of designer glasses there. 6:05 now on WKYT this morning, and the next time you're on Short Street in Lexington, you'll be noticing some changes. Crews have started a project near Cheapside designed to make the street safer for pedestrians. They're extending the sidewalks with green paint, and planters will be installed to create a buffer between people and traffic. The city says the changes are temporary, but if they're a success, it could become permanent.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
What a beautiful start to the day. A lot of clear skies outside. And don't forget, I mean, it's still, the sun has not come above the horizon just yet. We still have about 30 minutes for that to 45 minutes. So you can still see some of those meteors out and about if you just check out your window. Best thing to do is look north. And the way you can do that, check out I-75, know where you are in relation to some of these roadways. 27, 127, a lot of those run north and south. Most of it does. And you can actually view toward the north. You can see a few shooting stars this morning. You still got it tonight and into tomorrow morning, so if you miss out, that's all right. 63 degrees, beautiful morning outside. It really is. Then we head down south, same story. I mean, we're talking low to mid 60s. Some of us will finish off right around 60 degrees. Most of us in the low 60s, but nonetheless, that's a good day in store. We head toward the afternoon, 78 degrees. Look at your icons, a lot of sunny skies. When you're driving this morning, taking your kids to school or you heading off to work, and you look out the window and see all that sunshine, it's the same view you're going to see coming back home and picking up those kids from the bus stop. So it's a really nice day. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, you can still see some of those shooting stars. Cool morning in store tomorrow. 55 degrees, that's well below average. That's about 10 degrees below average. So you got to absolutely love that. Let's talk about this meteor shower. This morning's a really good time to view it. Tomorrow morning's a really good time to view it. Up to 100 as you can see per hour. Most of us won't see that many, probably 10 to about 20 per hour. But still, up to 100, that'd be pretty lucky. Best is to look north once again. Best viewing days this morning before the sun rises, and also tomorrow morning before the sun rises, 3 to 6 a.m. So that is your best bet. See that Perseid meteor shower. Weekend planner, let's talk about it. It's not all that bad, is it? 83 there on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. So the kids going back to school, you got 3 days for them to be back in school, and then they can have a really nice weekend. It looks pretty dry, only a slight chance at a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Your 7 day shapes up like this. We'll be sitting in the 70s, upper 70s, lower 80s really the next 3 days. I don't see that changing whatsoever, and it looks pretty good all the way through your weekend too. As we slide toward Monday and Tuesday of next week, that's when some moisture creeps back in here, and that'll give us the next best chance of rain, especially I would say Tuesday and Wednesday, Rebecca. That's probably the next best chance, and that's a far ways away. I mean, we have about 5 days in store where we could be dry for most, so it looks really nice. It'll feel really nice too. This is not your typical summer. I mean, we're sitting there well below average the next several days. We'll take it.
You usually associate, back to school a little bit with fall, and the weather kind of is falling in line with that.
It makes you feel like you should go back to school. Absolutely.
It does. It's nice. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic. Here's Officer Don now with a look at what's happening on the roads.
Well, good morning. Of course, first day back to school. Watch for the buses out there and the kids. Hopefully we'll have a pretty smooth morning. Right now, of course, things are pretty quiet as we get into the 7 o'clock hour. Then we're going to see things a lot heavier on Clays Mill between Jesse Clark and Lexington Catholic. Also in Wilson Downing and areas on Tate's Creek. Let's get a look outside and we'll show you what to expect as you get ready to head out the door this morning for work or school. And as Micah said, it's a beautiful morning out there. Nicholasville and alumni moving great inbound toward campus. Now on our Waze map, just a couple live drivers on the way in reporting no problems right now on the inner and outer loops of the circle and on the interstate 75 north and southbound. Not foreseeing any problems across the Clays Ferry Bridge or coming in from Scott County toward Lexington. And of course, we'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, and whether you're on your way to school or work, you can tune in Officer Don and Deanna on 98.1 The Bull. They're always having some fun. Hey, it's good to have you along. 6:09, and much more news is coming up from WKYT this morning.
Find out what's happened to a Texas police officer who shot and killed a college football athlete.
And a former beauty queen trades in her crown for cuffs, accused in an elaborate scheme to steal thousands of dollars. Welcome back in. 6:13 is our time, bright and early.
Yeah, first day of school for a lot of students in Fayette County. Very, very good deal for that. Well, a Texas police officer who shot and killed an unarmed college football player is out of a job this morning.
Brad Miller was fired from the Arlington police force. He shot 19-year-old Christian Taylor multiple times at a car dealership last week. The city's police chief says Miller exercised poor judgment and should not have approached Taylor alone.
A fifth night of protests in Ferguson, Missouri brought out about 100 demonstrators, a much smaller group than on recent nights and much calmer. The St. Louis suburb has seen demonstrations for days marking the anniversary of the death of 18-year-old Michael Brown, whose shooting death by a Ferguson police officer sparked a national Black Lives Matter movement.
Hillary Clinton is giving up the personal email server that she used while she was the U.S. Secretary of State, and she has directed that it be handed over to the Justice Department. That server hosted the Democratic presidential candidate's email during her 4 years as Secretary of State. A top intelligence official says at least 2 of the emails that went through the server contained top-secret information. Investigators will be allowed to search the email account of a former longtime political aide to Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. A judge rejected Jesse Benton's request to throw out a warrant ordering Google to turn over the contents of his Gmail account. Benton and 2 other aides for Ron Paul's 2012 presidential campaign were indicted on charges of conspiring to buy the support of an Iowa state senator. Benton has also worked for U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell.
We have an update now on a developing international story. CNN is reporting that all 17 crew members survived when a U.S. military helicopter crashed off the coast of Japan. 7 of them are reportedly injured. Well, this morning's crash happened off the coast of Okinawa. Well, a Pennsylvania beauty queen traded in her tiara for handcuffs. Police say Brandy Weaver Gates had been living a lie. The 23-year-old is accused of faking cancer and scamming people out of thousands of dollars.
Many people out there that have family, friends, neighbors that are affected with some form of cancer, and unfortunately you have people out there who take advantage of that.
Her elaborate plan included shaving her head, faking medical treatments, and scamming money from benefits in her honor. Police say Weaver Gates even convinced family members that she had cancer. She is now facing felony charges. A Central Kentucky funeral home has organized a service for a Navy veteran who died without any family members around. Ramsey Funeral Home in Lancaster says Don Koss of Mercer County died July 29th. The funeral home has arranged a service for Cass tomorrow morning at 11 at Camp Nelson National Cemetery in Jessamine County. The public is invited to attend and pay tribute to the Navy veteran.
The time this morning is 6:16 on WKYT, and China's surprise decision to devalue its currency is having ripple effects all across the markets around the world. A cheaper yen will make exports from China, the world's second largest economy, less expensive. And the reverse is also true. American and other international products will become more expensive to Chinese consumers. In this country, a Department of Transportation report says Spirit Airlines had the worst on-time arrival record last June of any major U.S. airline. The data showed only 50% of the low-cost carrier's flights were on schedule. United Airlines had the second worst on-time rating at 66%. Hawaiian Airlines finished on top, more than 90% of its flights landing without delay. Soon you'll be able to use Apple Pay at Rite Aid. The drugstore chain initially shunned the service because it was part of a group developing a rival pay system, but now Rite Aid says it will accept Apple Pay later this month and Android Pay when that becomes available. The Discount Tire and America's Tire chains are recalling nearly 80,000 light truck and SUV replacement tires because the tread could come off. The recall affects certain Pathfinder tires made between August of 2013 and May of 2015. There are no reports of deaths or injuries as a result of that defect. And now you can get your Girl Scout cookie fix for breakfast. Quaker is rolling out its first Girl Scout cookie-inspired granola bars. They come in 2 flavors, Thin Mints and Caramel Coconut. Those bars will have about 100 calories each. Rebecca, another option.
Oh, looks yummy. Love options. WKYT this morning, just getting started.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Summer break is over, and over 40,000 kids here in Fayette County will be heading back to school this morning. I'll have more coming up.
And the weather looks perfect for the kiddos heading back to school. Fall-like conditions. And the reason why I say that is because feeling more like September than any other month. I'll have that update coming to you next.
Welcome back in. 6:21 is the time. 40,000 students. It's a lot. Headed back to school today in Fayette County.
Yeah, a lot of them, getting up this morning, right? Yeah.
Yeah, wipe that sleep out.
Exactly. That's what's trending at this hour. The new school year is kicking off today with a brand new superintendent in Fayette County. Manny Kalk is catching a bus this morning. He'll be riding with students to Mary Todd Elementary. And police are asking drivers to be patient this morning and to give those school buses plenty of room out there.
It's also the first day of school in Madison County, but not for students at Daniel Boone Elementary. Their school year won't start until Monday because construction crews are still renovating their school.
Police are hoping that surveillance video will help them catch the people who broke into a Nicholasville business. Managers say a man and woman picked a lock and then stole about $6,000 worth of designer glasses.
I don't see any issues outside. Maybe a little fog some of those valley regions, but other than that, I've been looking on Twitter, on Facebook. You guys aren't sending me anything, so there's always good news as you're trying to get up and head out and about. Those roadways look good. Have not heard of any issues. We talked to Officer Don. He said things look good to go. Just watch out as you're traveling this morning. You're going to be running into some of those neighborhoods that some of those kids are going to be out and about. We're not used to it because we're just coming off summer, so take it easy. If you see those spots here and there, that's the way it's going to be. I mean, as you head out the door, especially east of I-75 and then down toward the Cumberland region, that's probably a spot that you could pick up a little fog. But other than that, I mean, it's clear sky outside. Temperatures will settle right there around 78 degrees this afternoon. That goes for virtually everybody. I mean, some could reach right around 80 degrees, but 78, 80, you're not going to feel the difference. Neither am I. I mean, it's going to be a good-looking day. Mostly sunny skies, too. It's going to be hard-pressed to pick out some clouds out of the sky today, guys. And the focus of the forecast, obviously, those kiddos getting back to school, it's absolutely perfect. It looks good today and really through the rest of the work week.
We will enjoy that.
Yeah,
right
definitely.
into the weekend as well.
Great.
All right, the time this morning is coming up on 6:24, and Bluebell fans, you've been waiting to see this news for months.
Yeah, a lot of eager anticipation here. The Creamery posted this video with the caption that their trucks are on the road again, making deliveries. The company says its ice cream will soon be back on store shelves. Bluebell's Alabama facility was shut down in April because of a deadly listeria outbreak. Ryan Williams will return to television mid-September.
NBC News says Williams will serve as a breaking news anchor for MSNBC. He was pulled from the NBC nightly news anchor chair after he exaggerated a story that he covered during the Iraq War. The network then suspended him without pay for 6 months. Republican presidential contender Jeb Bush will be an opening night guest on Stephen Colbert's late night show.
The former Colbert Report host tweeted that Bush will join him on the September 8th debut of CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. CBS confirmed that the former Florida governor will be on the inaugural show, which will also include Kentucky native George Clooney. Should be interesting. Nick Walenda's walked on a wire across the Grand Canyon and many other famous locations.
Well, last night, the 7th generation wire walker took on his longest high-altitude stroll ever at the Wisconsin State Fair. Walenda walked 1,560 feet across the Milwaukee Mile racetrack, 10 stories above the ground, on a wire, Rebecca, no wider than a nickel.
You know what? That just gives me the heebie-jeebies to think about, but it's amazing that people can do that.
He made it.
He made it.
This time. All right. Burger King's new chicken fries have helped the company's bottom line in recent years.
So, of course, it's now come out with a spicy version to satisfy those with a fiery sweet tooth. The new chicken fries, not sweet tooth, anyway, you know what I mean. The new chicken fries coated with a marinade of cayenne and black pepper and other savory spices that will, quote, make your mouth cry. Burger King says they're responding to fans who demanded a chicken fry renaissance on social media. Wow, people have too much time on their hands.
Well, Yeah, but you could satisfy your fiery sweet tooth there.
Yeah, fiery sweet tooth. I think it exists.
I love it. All right, it is 6:26 on WKYT on your Wednesday morning. We're so glad you're up and at it with us today on this start of school in Lexington and so many places where the school bells are ringing.
When WKYT this morning returns big news for the future of Centerpoint. Hear what Lexington Mayor Jim Gray has to say now that the project is under new management.
Stay with us for much more on WKYT this morning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome into you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
I'm Bill Bryan, and we're glad you're with us, the WKYT News team. It is Wednesday, August 12th, and now at 6:30, rise and shine. Thousands of students are dusting off their backpacks for the first day of school.
And we're tracking a crime alert after a Lexington gas station was robbed at Ninth Point overnight.
And it's a beautiful start to the morning, trying to get those kids off to the bus stop. I don't see any issues. You can see a lot of sunshine will be had today with those clear skies out and about. Current temperatures sitting there in the 60s, and we'll finish off in the 60s as we go throughout the morning. Let's look toward the afternoon. Kids coming back home from school, it's going to look just the same and actually feel quite nice, 78 degrees. We'll have much more on this forecast as we get off towards your weekend coming up.
All right, and let's get right to the news.
It is a big day for students, of course, and their parents in the Bluegrass. First day of school in many central Kentucky counties.
We're talking a lot of nostalgia on a day like this, and as you head out the door this morning, you want to keep a few things in mind. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is live to explain what you can expect here in Lexington. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm at the Fayette County School Bus Garage as drivers are arriving, school buses are leaving for what is expected to be a busy day on the roads here in Fayette County, as over 40,000 kids will begin school today for the first day of school, and what that means an increase in traffic. Now, Lexington police urge you to leave 15 minutes earlier than you normally would. Also, be aware of children walking to school, and be sure to stop when the school bus's arm is down. It is a state law. Remember, there are precious children on those buses. There will be 214 school buses on the Lexington roads this morning, and one of those buses will have a special guest, Superintendent Manny Koch. It's also his first day of school here in Fayette County, and he's looking forward to all the excitement of the first day of school.
So I'm going to be out there as a servant leader, cheerleading, meeting our parents, and welcoming back our staff.
Yeah.
Manny Koch will be riding the bus with students at Mary Todd Elementary. He will also pay visits to William Wells Brown Elementary, Bryan Station High School, Lafayette High, and Takes Creek Middle School, and we'll be following him throughout the day. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Right, an exciting day for him as well, I'm sure, no doubt. It is also the first day of school in Madison County.
But not all schools are opening today. WKYT's Mark Barber is on our live desk to explain why.
Okay, in less than an hour, summer break will be over in Madison County. I'm sure for many students and parents that comes with mixed emotions. Students will start heading back for their first day of school around 7:25. But students at one school can hang on to 3 extra days of summer, and maybe some of those back-to-school nerves and excitement just a little longer, because they won't be starting classes until next week. Students at Daniel Boone Elementary are starting their school year on Monday because construction crews fell behind on their work. Teachers normally start decorating their classrooms in mid-July, but they haven't been able to do that yet because the school is still under renovation. Crews are also working on Whitehall and Kit Carson Elementary, but those schools will still open today. Now, we did ask the district if Daniel Boone students will have a longer school year because they're getting a late start, but they said Madison County's calendar is actually longer than the state's requirements, so students will not need to make up those 3 extra days. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And again, kids are ready to go, I think.
It makes the big kids think back to when their first day of school was. It was always an exciting time, and, good luck to everybody out there.
Absolutely. Make it a great year. All right, the time this morning is 6:34, and new this morning, we're tracking a crime alert in Lexington.
Police are looking for the person who robbed the Shell gas station on Richmond Road near New Circle. Police say the man had a knife, was wearing a camouflage mask and shirt when he stole money from the register and forced the clerk out of the store. He then ran toward the Value Place Hotel, where police lost track of him.
Well, it is the biggest news since the project was announced more than 7 years ago. A new developer is taking over the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington. A city block in the downtown area was leveled back in 2008 to make room for a high-rise hotel. But that project has been stalled out for years. Now a UK law student has teamed up with a New York City real estate investment firm called Bridgeton Holdings to develop Centerpoint. The original developers, the web companies, will become minority partners in the project. The new developers say they want to move City Hall to the Centerpoint block. They got a lot of talk about that going during last night's City Council meeting. Mayor Jim Gray, though, says moving City Hall will depend on how much it would impact taxpayers.
Our vision of this project is this will be a catalyst for a renaissance of downtown Lexington.
For it to be a long-term asset to the community and to be able to benefit the entire community is pretty exciting.
A city spokesperson said in a release that the development team will work with city leaders in both the private and public sectors to gauge interest in the project over the next few days. The new investors told WKYT News that they hope to have the cranes moving again at Centerpoint in about 6 months.
New this morning, a grand jury has indicted a man accused in a Lexington murder case. Police say Montez Graves was shot and killed in June while inside a car on Whitney Avenue. The Herald Leader reports a grand jury indicted Jermaine Anderson on a murder charge. He's scheduled to be back in court next week. 7 people are due in a Franklin County courtroom today in connection to a high-profile bourbon heist. Police say more than $100,000 worth of bourbon was stolen from 2 distilleries over the course of 7 years. Police say Gilbert Kurtzinger was the ringleader. He worked at Buffalo Trace, where the theft of high-end Pappy Van Winkle bourbon drew international attention.
Well, the state has shut down a Fleming County daycare while it investigates claims of abuse there. The Cabinet for Health and Family Services says an employee at the World Class Kids Learning Center put a 4-year-old in the bathroom whenever the child got in trouble and wouldn't let the child out. The Cabinet also says the center did not conduct proper background checks on staff. We could not reach the owner of the daycare for comment on that story.
This morning, we're hearing from the father of a Clay County murder victim that has now made an arrest has been made in this. 24-year-old Trevor Dykes was shot outside his home last month. The Clay County Sheriff says a man is now charged with solicitation to commit murder. Police won't identify that person because they say they're still looking for a second suspect. Still, Dykes' father says the arrest comes as a big relief.
This is the moment we've been waiting on ever since this has happened. We want to see justice drop down to who done it, why they done it. We want to know why they done it and who done it and who's behind it.
At last check, the sheriff and Kentucky State Police still searching for that second suspect. The mother of a Boyd County girl who police say was accidentally shot says family members tried to save the little girl using CPR. Catlettsburg police say 12-year-old Haley Marshall was shot and killed while helping her older brother move. He went to grab a gun out of his truck when they say it went off unexpectedly, hitting Haley.
She was my life. And that's been ripped away from me now, and I'll never have it back.
Her mother says Haley had just started the 7th grade. Very, very sad situation there. Well, Meghan Trainor's vocal problems are forcing the singer to cancel the rest of her North American tour. That includes a scheduled performance at the Kentucky State Fair. Trainor wrote on Instagram that she is devastated, scared, and so sorry for calling off the tour. She plans to have surgery for a vocal cord hemorrhage. Now, people who bought tickets for her August 20th concert can get a refund. If you bought them on Ticketmaster.com, you'll get a refund automatically.
A new Circle Road construction project could create even more delays today. State construction crews are planning to demolish the Alexandria Drive Bridge on New Circle and put in a new one. That work is set to start this morning at 9. It's scheduled to run through next week. The speed limit on New Circle will be 45 miles per hour in that zone. Traffic will also be stopped on Alexandria Drive for 15-minute intervals. That has been a tough spot here for a while, and it will be for a little more, and especially over the next 10 days or so.
Increased traffic congestion, obviously, with the kids going back to school. So, you know, just try to be patient out there. Let's get a check of traffic right now to see what is happening. Hopefully, it's not too bad out there right now.
See how things are moving along. Here is Officer Don in live drive traffic. Don?
Well, of course, the slowest spots we're going to see this morning on Clays Mill between Jesse Clark and Lexington Catholic. We can expect backups there. Richmond Road approaching the circle, the left turn lane to the inner loop and the through lanes there. In the next few minutes, we're going to see backups as well. That's because folks headed toward Henry Clay. So in school zones, that's where we're seeing the heaviest activity, but no wrecks so far. We want to keep it that way, so please be careful with the schools out there, with the kids out there, and the buses on the road. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you what to expect as you get ready to head out the door for work or school this morning. It's first day back. It's pretty quiet there at Broadway and Red Mile, not a whole lot happening. And on our Waze map, live drivers are reporting normal traffic flow on the circle for now. We expect that, and we're not seeing any of those major delays just yet. Of course, they're coming, especially in the 7 o'clock hour. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don, thank you very much. If you were with us a few minutes ago, you saw all those school buses, you know, fired up, ready to go.
Oh, they're ready. Hopefully the parents and the kids are as well.
So everybody be careful out there and watch out. All right, it is 6:40, 20 before 7, and much more. WKYT This Morning is on the way.
We're getting into the back-to-school spirit with a blast from the past. Coming up after weather, you'll get to see a few of our favorite school pictures featuring our WKYT family.
Things look pretty good outside. I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever. Perfect day to get back in school, and also for the parents to send the kids off and have your own day. I'll have your forecast off towards your weekend coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
In the low to mid 60s outside at this very moment. That's a really good start to the day, especially when the humidity's way down and you're seeing a lot of sunshine pretty much everywhere you look. I say pretty much because some of those valleys, the waterways, yeah, you could have some fog, but other than that, it is a really clear and nice start. Welcome back to school. A lot of us getting those kids off to the bus stop and trying to get them off to school. And here's the deal. This morning's perfect. This afternoon, that's a perfect way really to start the school year at 78 degrees. And we were talking about it earlier, how the party's over for the kids. They got to go back to school. Party's just beginning for some of you parents, sending the kids back to school. Now it's your time to party. Shot at some nicer air. This will be a beautiful day for you to get out and enjoy. Nice little walk around the neighborhood. Just kind of hang out outside if you had to get some of those plans done that you haven't been able to, because the kids are always on your back. So here you go. Perfect weather, sunny skies today, and temperatures in the upper 70s. We get in toward the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Don't forget, you still got the meteor shower going on. It wasn't just last night and into this morning, but also overnight and into tomorrow morning, too. You can still see it. Best viewing time, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Go into the afternoon once that sun rises, 78 to 83. Those are really, really good temperatures. So the next couple of days, no issues whatsoever. It's going to be hard-pressed to find a lot of clouds out and about the next couple of days. So perfect weather to get the yard work done Friday. Still no problem whatsoever. I honestly don't even see a chance of rain until we hit the weekend. The weekend's still very slight. Check this out. Speaking of rain, yesterday we had that small chance of rain. A couple of showers here and there, and that's about it. Most of us did stay dry. And this is a good picture. Carrie Talby sent this one in. That's a beautiful shot on that flower as that rain came through earlier, and this was sent in, obviously, yesterday. And we talked about the meteors. Alexander Coggs sent this one in. A plane to the left. There's your plane flying through the sky. All the stars out and about. And then you have one of your shooting stars right through there. So that's a pretty cool shot. He said hopefully tonight will be a little bit more spectacular, but that's all they saw out there. It's all right. At least you saw one. 7-day forecast. Next few days, look at your highs. Not just your highs, but look at your lows, too. Upper 70s, lower 80s. Your lows tomorrow morning, 55 degrees. Some of those kids heading off to the bus stop, I mean, they won't mind, but some of us get a little cool at times at 55 degrees, especially this time of year when we're so used to getting that humid condition, also a little bit of that heat flowing on in here. You won't feel that at all the next several days. 86 is our afternoon high. It's the average for this time of year. I don't see 86 on the screen. This is a really nice stretch of some weather. Definitely not hot and definitely not rainy. So the next few days are looking pretty nice. All the way through your weekend, too. And this is about the 5th consecutive weekend that we've stayed dry.
Hey, it gets an A in my opinion.
I like that. I'm with you on that.
Going with the
theme of the day, right? Or at least showing improvement. Anyway.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, Micah, thank you. 6:46 is the time.
And of course, along with this theme, the first day of school can be both exciting and scary.
And with so many Kentucky students returning to the classroom today, it made us think about our own school days. This morning we're sharing some of our favorite school pictures of our WKYT family. Let's start with this little guy. Who is that? Huh?
Look at that stud muffin.
You're right.
I don't know. Who could that be?
That's Micah Harris. Your hair was that light?
Man, I had some blonde hair when I was a kid, and I hated the smile, too. I don't know why.
Was that a Superman backpack?
It might, yeah, it sure was. Look at that.
What it looks like.
God, I was a stud muffin back then.
All right. Who's that?
Michelle Chamberlain.
There you go.
You know, her hair color is still the same, isn't it?
Little apple there for good luck.
For the teacher, yeah.
Let's look at, all right. Any guesses?
That's
Not
Michelle
Chamberlain. It is.
Look at Mark.
Wow.
Hey, he's got the butt cut going and everything, man. Look at that.
He had to go back to that hairstyle.
That was a 90s hairstyle for sure.
Okay, there he is, a little more
Who is that?
dressed up.
Is that Mark?
That's Mark again.
That's Mark again.
More like he looks today.
Very dapper.
Uh-oh.
Oh, look who that is.
Well, you just know by the color of the
Bill,
photo
where are
who
your
that is.
childhood pictures? Were you never a child?
I was born looking like that.
I guess so. I guess that's what you were trying
His
to
hair
say.
didn't move when he was born.
Your letter jacket. You just
Still
wanted
doesn't,
everyone
you
to
know?
know that you had your letter jacket.
That was pretty
See
good
what your
shot.
scheme is, Bill.
Good times.
And you know, I did actually go to school, so I'll just put that out there, but I didn't happen to have a photo. My theory is, and I love my mother, but you know, she worked a lot, so maybe there just wasn't that photo. I still need to ask.
Well, and you know, back then it wasn't, everybody had a camera phone.
Yeah.
It was a little tougher to do.
Yeah,
and
it
all
didn't
that,
always
but,
document.
But we'll find a picture of you somewhere, right?
They may be hiding somewhere.
You got it. 6:48 is the time. Good morning to you from WKYT. It's great to have you along with us.
We have more news. Stay with us.
Ahead on CBS this morning, Hillary Clinton prepares to hand over her personal email server. We're tracking developments in the investigation after it was revealed that some of those emails contain top secret information. The news, it's back in the morning. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.
All right, traffic stacking up a little bit out there as we see downtown this morning.
Shaping up to be a nice day.
It is. Good day out there. 6:52 here in a couple of seconds, and 40,000 kids are starting a brand new school year today in Fayette County.
And that means extra traffic during your morning commute. Lexington police urging folks to leave 15 minutes earlier than normal. Also be on the lookout for children walking to school, and be sure to stop when the school bus arm is down. It is a state law. A special guest will be on one of those buses. It's Superintendent Manny Cox, first day of school as well in Fayette County. We'll catch up with him at Mary Todd Elementary later this morning. It's also the first day of school in Madison County, but not for students at Daniel Boone Elementary. Their school year won't start until Monday because construction crews are still renovating.
A little extra break for them there. Well, new this morning, we're tracking a crime alert in Lexington. Police are looking for the person who robbed the Shell gas station on Richmond Road near New Circle. Police say the man had a knife and was wearing a camouflage mask and shirt when he stole money from the register and forced the clerk to go out of the store. He then ran toward the Value Place Hotel where police lost track of him.
Happening today, we could hear testimony in the case of two people charged in a Lexington murder. Police say Charles Patton, Caitlin Conway, and DeMarcus Harris broke into a home on Addy Street last October and shot and killed Darnell Bates. Harris is still on the run. Patton and Conway have a preliminary hearing today.
A nightclub in Lexington that has been the scene of multiple shootings is now under new ownership. Tom Burr bought the building on Euclid Avenue. He already owns the Beer Trap next door and Pazzo's and Village Idiot. Burr also told the Herald Leader that he's turning the space into a new restaurant with a rooftop patio, and he hopes that that will be open in March in time for spring.
Hillary Clinton has directed her team to hand over her private email server and a thumb drive to the Justice Department. The server housed her email during her 4 years as Secretary of State. A top intelligence official says at least 2 of the emails that went through the server contained top secret information. Republican lawmakers had demanded the Democratic presidential candidate turn over the server for inspection. Following the move, the head of the Republican National Committee said Clinton only did so because she had run out of options. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump says he is certain Clinton committed a crime. A Texas police officer who shot and killed an unarmed college football player is out of a job. Brad Miller was fired from the Arlington Police Force Tuesday after he shot 19-year-old Christian Taylor multiple times at a car dealership last week. The city's police chief says Miller exercised poor judgment and should not have approached Taylor alone.
It is now 6:54, and take WKYT along with you throughout the day, and we'll be following up on the first day of school in Lexington and several other districts where the new year is getting underway. We have a fun web poll up you might also want to get in on. It's asking whether you are ready for students to return to school, and almost 2/3 say yes, while a little more than 1/3 say no. They apparently want a little more summer. Well, it's a great day for students to be catching the bus or heading off to class. Micah says we'll see sunshine, lower humidity, pleasant highs in the upper 70s, and it looks really nice for the next several days. Keep checking back as we'll update our 7-day forecast and track things over the next few days here. We'll also be continuing to follow up on the new developer taking over the stalled out Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington as we work to find out more about their plans and options for that major part of downtown. It's harvest time out there, and Kentucky.com talks about fresh peas, how they are a summertime delicacy here in Kentucky. And there is also a report from Tuesday's Wildcat football practice and a feature about how it takes a village to run the Kentucky specialty teams, and the coaches like it that way. CBS This Morning will be following us very shortly with your eye opener at 7, and we'll have local news, weather, and traffic updates from WKYT. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
Well, it's such a good-looking start this morning as you're heading out and about. I hope everybody has a first day back to school. I know it's stressful for the kids, stressful for the parents, too, especially if it's the very first day of school. As I ran into a couple of my friends yesterday that have those little kids that are just going through the first day of school, said they're going to cry a little bit, but that's all right, man. Just let it flow there on the sidewalk at the bus stop. Right now in Lexington, we're at 63 degrees. Visibility is perfect, and you can see across the region. I don't see any issues in terms of visibility, except for some of those valley locations. Other than that, we are good. Temperatures are there in the 60s. And welcome back to all the kids heading back to school, all those parents who are about to rejoice as their kids walk back into the bus and also back to school. Great way to start off school year, guys. It's 78 degrees this afternoon. That is well below average. So this is a really good feeling, as Rebecca said earlier, how usually when you're back in school, it's that fall feel. This is it. I mean, it makes you feel like you're back in school.
Feels like nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And parents, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you for being with us on WKYT.
Hope you have a great one.